Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today we got a dev blog, fellas. A dev blog that is most interesting indeed with regards to some changes coming to quite a few test ships that were announced a couple of dev blogs ago. And, well, you can judge by the title of the video that one of these ships is getting some very, very interesting changes indeed. So let's go ahead and get on into it. The devlog will be linked in the description down below if you wish to read along as I read aloud. I will post any relevant images or artwork that are included in the devblog. So if you just want to read the devblog, check out all the nitty-gritty details for yourself. Again, link to that is in the description down below. So let's go ahead and get on into it. So devblog is titled Changes to Test Ships Close Test 13.10. Based on the testing results, we're applying changes to Yari, Shinano, Archerfish, Niord, and Shang. So the Yari, this is the more torpedo-focused Zal, if you will. That's literally what it is. It's a Zal with more torpedoes. Anyway, so what they are changing about the Yari, the forward firing angles of all torpedo launchers have been improved. That is, well, something that, of course, Japanese cruisers do have quite the sore spot in. Their torpedo angles are generally quite terrible. Even the Zal, you got to go almost broadside to get the Zal's torpedoes off, and given the usual terrible torpedo angles of the Japanese cruisers, that is, in most cases, a death sentence if you are spotted. The light cruisers, however, do have better torpedo angles, so I'm going to assume that we're probably getting torpedo angles similar to the Yodo line rather than the Zal line, for now at least. And the reload time for those torpedo launchers has also been reduced down from 125 to 100 seconds base. The traverse time for the main battery guns has also been reduced from 30 to 22.5 seconds base. And they've changed the engine parameters. The acceleration characteristics have been significantly improved to the point to where you can no longer mount propulsion mod 1 on the Yari. So I'm going to assume, propulsion mod 1, yeah, you're scooting along quite fast now. So it's like a better Yodo almost, with the better torpedo firing angles and the improved reload. And, well, the guns now traverse, I think, better than the Zal's guns. So interesting indeed. Oh, the rotor shift time was also reduced from 7.7 to 5.1 seconds as well. And the detection range of the Yari has been reduced to a mere 11.7 kilometers. Of course, that's before the skills or the modules. So, dang, this is like a Yodo, but with bigger guns, basically. So they note down here at the bottom, as was previously done with Victoria, we intend to test Yari in several varying sets of parameters in order to evaluate the viability of a number of concepts. After that, we will choose the concept best suited for the ship before its release. The changes listed above will shape Yari into a highly specialized, stealthy, and nimble ship capable of launching a very large number of torpedoes within a short period of time. At the same time, while the high caliber of its main battery guns may allow Yari to hold its own in a short skirmish with another cruiser, the low damage per minute will result in her being at a severe disadvantage in any prolonged confrontation. So this is basically, we're making a Yodo but with bigger guns configuration from what I'm getting at here with the Yari. So that's interesting. Victoria, they did this, variety of builds concept with her, and they wound up getting a pretty good one at the end. So, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But what most of you are probably here for is the changes coming to the Shinano, which is the recently announced Tier 10 Japanese carrier. The Shinano in real life was the third Yamato class battleship. When the Japanese realized that naval warfare was changing over to be more focused on naval aviation, they, halfway through the Shinano being constructed, decided they were going to change her into an aircraft carrier, and that's what we're getting in game. And we're getting some very interesting changes here with the Shinano, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. So the AP skip bombers have been changed. So first off, the number of the planes in an attacking flight has been increased from 3 to 4, so you get 4 bombs per rung now instead of 3. The number of planes in a squadron has also been increased from 9 to 12 by 3. And the number of aircraft on the deck has been increased from 14 to 18. And here's where it gets very interesting, fellas. The parameters of the AP bombs have been changed to where now they will penetrate to 32 millimeters of armor without the possibility of ricocheting. That's right, fellas. The Yamato class hybrid, not hybrid, the Yamato class battleship converted to a carrier can now, in-game, overmatch 32 millimeters of armor with its AP bombs. Just like her sisters, Musashi and Yamato can do with their 18.1-inch guns. So let that sink in for a second. French cruisers, battleships, terrible time. British battleships, terrible time. Anyone with 32 millimeter plating all over their ship is going to have a terrible time when there's a Shinano in the game. Because guess what? You're getting penetrated no matter what. Oh, Lord. That's interesting. So let me get through the rest of it, then I'll talk about that a little bit more. So the attacking time, so the time you can attack from clicking left mouse to attacking, has been increased from 6 seconds to 12 seconds. They note aiming parameters during attack have been adjusted. The expansion of the aiming reticle during aircraft turns was reduced, and the squadron maneuverability parameters have been improved. Okay, I'll go through the rest of the changes to the planes, and then we'll talk about the AP bomber changes. The torpedo bombers, you're getting 9 planes in a squadron instead of 6 now, and the aircraft on deck has been improved from 9 to 12, and the surface detectability of the ship has been reduced from 14.8 to 14.3 kilometers. Okay, so the AP skip bombers, pretty wild concept. Now, HE skip bombers are very useful. They do a massive amount of HE alpha damage. They usually have high fire chances as well. And of course, any of us that have been on the receiving end of a Nakamov skip bomber squadron knows how painful that can be. Now, AP skip bombers, well, it was something that I thought was going to be either completely devastating or useless because, well, obviously with AP skip bombers like AP rockets, if you angle into them, they'll bounce. But now that they can just overmatch 32 millimeters of armor, or pin 32 millimeters of armor, you're getting penetrated now. Battleship bow and sterns, unless you're in something like a GK or the Soviet battleships that have, of course, the icebreaker bow, you're getting pinned no matter what now. And again, French battleships, British battleships, they're all coated in 32 millimeters of armor, so you're getting pinned no matter what. And they increase the time for the attack run-up, and they improve the maneuverability of the aircraft, which, that's kind of like okay fair because it's AP munitions. You have to be on the right angle for it to really pin and do damage. So, yeah, it's like, okay, I can kind of see what they're doing there. But that's kind of nuts. Now, the question is, of course, how well were they penetrated? According to what we know in the last devlog, if you drop on the first line, they will have excellent penetration, and as they bounce, they will lose penetration, right? So the trade-off is kind of like, yeah, sure, you can drop that ship on the first line of the reticle, but your dispersion is going to be terrible. However, the bombs that do hit are going to do, a massive amount, are going to have a massive amount of penetration, right? So if you do catch a cruiser broadside or a battleship broadside, and you drop them on that first line, you're going to do a lot of damage if your bombs hit right, because they're going to pin, basically. Or you might do a bunch of overpins, right? So basically we have a flying Yamato now, flying around with her AP skip bombs that can overmatch 32 millimeters of armor. I, of course, would like to see the ship in-game perform with these new characteristics and see exactly how crazy it is. So, yes, of course, it's still in testing, so that this change can be undone. They could give it more penetration. Who the hell knows? It's in testing either way. So, yeah, just interesting change there, Wargaming. Is it something just to, give her the identity of being a Yamato? Because, again, Musashi and Yami, they were, for a very long time, the only ships in game that could overmatch that 32 millimeters of armor with their AP shells. And now the Shinano can, too. So, from that view, it's like, okay, I see what you're doing, Wargaming. From the other view, it's like, I'm very scared of giving a CV this ability. So, yeah, let's see what happens with the Shinano. We'll keep our eye on her. So speaking of the Shinano, her nemesis, the Archerfish, which is the Tier 10 submarine that's, I'm assuming, being released in an event alongside the Shinano. Oh, actually, they are. They're in the next Still Will event. So the combat instructions of the Archerfish has been changed. The action time has been buffed from 30 to 45 seconds, and the bonus to the torpedo tube reload time has been increased from 10 to 17.5 seconds. Archerfish is supposed to be a close-in submarine, which is a bold strategy, because submarines tend to not do well when they're close in and spotted, but I guess yet again we'll see what happens with the Archerfish. And the European battleship, the Niord, her reload time has been reduced from 24 to 21 seconds with her main battery guns. Again, very interesting there on the Niord. We'll see what happens there. This is the more torpedo focused, I believe, Carl the 14th Johann, or I think it's a Prince Ruprecht hull with Carl's torpedoes. I think that's what it is. So she's more, again, torpedo focused. She doesn't have the secondaries of the Ruprecht, so giving her a faster reload on those 16-inch guns makes sense at Tier 9. And then the Pan-Asian battleship, the Tenshi, which is a Tier 7. The main battery reload time has been increased from 31.5 to 33 seconds. This is the Chinese Synop that's more focused, I believe, on long-range engagement. So makes sense if you're giving the Synops guns, better dispersion and the ability to hit stuff at range. They should definitely have a longer reload time, because Synop's already crazy enough as is. Giving it the ability to god slap someone from across the map is obviously something that needs to be balanced. So makes sense there. Not really a big surprise to me. So guys, let me know what you guys think about these changes in the comments down below. The Shinano changes, again, very interesting, but I would very much like to see the Shinano in game. I've run across it once or twice, but obviously I'm focused on playing, my ship at the time, so I can't really say how crazy she has or hasn't been. But I would like to see what she's doing now with these changes when they do go live for the test ship. So, well, fellas, in true wargaming fashion, just as I had finished uploading today's video, Wargaming goes and releases yet another devblog, so let's go ahead and get on into it. So this devblog is concerning the next Dockyard, Asymmetric battles returning to the game, and a couple of more highlights that we will be hitting. We're not going over everything in this devblog, we're just running through the highlights here. So that starts with the Dockyard. Link to this is also in the description down below, by the way, if you want to check it out after we get done here, or if you want to read along as I read aloud. But anyway, new Dockyard. So they say, update 13.11 brings us to the Hamburg Dockyard, at which construction of the European battleship Niord, which is the Tier 9, will commence. We were just talking about this in the other devlog. Alright. Additionally, you will be able to obtain another new ship for free as an intermediate reward. Read on to see more details. Niord's a speedy battleship, similar in layout to the GK-4541 German battlecruiser designed to the First World War. She's also the result of a hypothetical alternate history scenario where the ship is laid down in Germany in 1918, purchased by Sweden in the 1920s, and gradually completed by the end of the 1930s, which included subsequent modernization of anti-aircraft defense systems following the Second World War. The ship was named after the ancient Norse god of seafaring, winds, and fishing, while also inheriting the name from a coastal defense ship that served in the Swedish Navy in the early decades of the 20th century. The ship is armed with 8 380mm main battery guns with good accuracy and fast reloading time. See, I called them 16-inch guns in the previous devlog, but look, I corrected myself here. While her secondary guns are not the best, the ship is also armed with 20 torpedo tubes, which have the signature European tight spread. Those torps are also fast and have long range, albeit with low damage individually. Additionally, Niord has good concealment, strong A defense, and high speed, which are balanced out by low HP and main battery guns with weak salvo weight. Now onto the Dockyard event itself. The Hamburg Dockyard will contain 20 shipbuilding phases, 17 of which can be completed through combat missions. The other 3 shipbuilding phases can be purchased for doubloons. Our New Year update will feature mini gifts and interesting rewards, including a new free ship for all of our players. This year you'll be able to unlock brand new Pan-European Tier 5 destroyer Kalmar in the Hamburg Dockyard as the intermediate reward in the 8th shipbuilding phase instead of in the event pass in the previous year. We are also now ready to show Kalmar in her permanent camouflage, which looks a little toasty in my humble opinion. So, they say about the Kalmar. Kalmar's strength lies in her torpedo armament, which consists of very fast, long-range torpedoes and 2 triple launchers, with access to the signature super-narrow European spread. Each shipbuilding phase can be purchased for 3,000 dubs, with a starter pack of 3 and 6 phases available for purchase for 7,900 and 12,600 doubloons, respectively. These packs will only be available until you achieve 4 phases via the completion of combat missions, so be sure to grab them early if you plan on using them. Dockyard missions may be completed during Update 13.11 and the first 3 weeks of Update 14.0. During the last week of Update 14.0, you'll only be able to progress through the Dockyard by purchasing shipbuilding phases for doubloons. The Dockyard itself will remain in your port until the start of Update 14.1. Alright, so this Dockyard, torpedo heavy, definitely. So, again, both the Niord and the Kalmar are definitely torpedo-focused ships. So you may want to give this a pass if you don't really have an interest in that. I mean, I would definitely still grind out the missions just to get the Kalmar. You know, a free premium ship is a free premium ship. And as Dockyards have gone historically, you do get some decent rewards by just playing through the Dockyard. Of course, I will be picking up the Niord when she goes live in order to try her out for you guys, and you guys know if she's worth grinding out once she does come to the game in 13.11. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. You know, the 2 thematic ships that, you know, again, the theme is torpedoes. One's a Dockyard ship, one's the midpoint ship. Makes sense to me. And the thing is that it's a little expensive, ain't it? 3,000 doubloons per phase. You got to buy 3 phases. Granted, this is when the Snowflake event will be going on. So there's a very good chance you can pick up a good chunk of the doubloons in your center containers if you have a large enough fleet, and maybe you won't really have to fork over that much money to get the ship in the first place via, you know, buying the 3 phases. But I mean, like, you know, 9,000 doubloons, or if you buy the starter bundle, how much was it? The 3-pack was what? I don't think it was that bad. 7,900 doubloons. I mean, you do that, you get the ship, you get all the rewards as well, so it's a pretty decent deal usually, but especially if you do grind it out. So, Dockyard, again, if you're not that interested in the ship, again, grind through the phases, get what you can get for free, get the Kalmar, and have, you know, a free Tier 5 premium in your port. So, another interesting thing about this dev blog is clan patrols. So, this is a new thing for clans. So, they say Update 13.11 also brings along a temporary new activity, Clan Patrols, which will be available for any clan member, so make sure you join a clan. TSOF is recruiting. Inside the Special Patrol window in the Clan tab, you will be able to choose one battle type to patrol and receive extra rewards just by playing it. Let's get into some of the details. You'll be able to receive a bonus to free XP earned in battles by participating in patrols. Playing in a division will net you the full bonus, while playing alone will get you half of the bonus. Current battle types that can be affected by patrols bonuses includes operations, co-op, randoms, asymmetrics, and brawls. You can switch your battle type for patrolling anytime you like without any restrictions. Division mates do not necessarily need to be your clan mates either. They can be from other clans too. Every day you will be able to earn a random bundle with 4 rewards for playing in a division. In order to get all your rewards, you need to play 4 battles in total. Rewards include credits, signals, oil, coal, elite commander XP, and expendable economic bonuses. The bundles can be updated once a day by clicking on a dedicated button. With every update, there's a chance you will get a special bundle with steel, oil, and distant voyages premium containers. You can keep track of your progress and increase chances of receiving special rewards by playing more battles. I mean, okay, it's more free stuff, so I mean, I see this as a win, if you're in a clan at least, obviously. But there are lots of clans out there. Lots of clans are very casual. They don't, you know, even necessarily require you to play clan battles. So I would encourage you to join one, play with your friends, get free stuff. So yeah, again, TSOF is recruiting. You check out the link to that in the description down below. All right, and asymmetric battles are returning. Finally, I'm sure many of you are quite happy to hear this news. And what does Wargaming have to say? Well, they say, we've heard you, and we are so excited to finally share that asymmetric battles are returning in Update 13.11. We're even going to keep it exactly the same as last time with the following parameters. So you can play in Tier 6 to Tier 10 ships and super ships, 5 ships to a team on the player side. The maximum differences of tiers between the ships is limited to 1 tier. You can play whatever ship type floats your boat. And I kid you not, there is a parentheses here that says, ha. I don't know who put that in, but I hope this made you happy. It's so goofy. You can also div up with up to 5 players under the following limitations: 1 aircraft carrier, 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, 2 destroyers, and 1 submarine. As for the bots, they'll continue to be a team of 12 ships. There are 2 tiers lower than each tier represented on the player team. This means if you're rocking a team that has tier 9 and tier 10 ships in it, expect to see bots there at tier 7 and tier 8. So there you go, fellas. Asymmetrics are returning to the game. Same thing as last time, same deal. So go ahead, go bully some bots, get some credits, and have some fun. So that's good that is returning. I'm glad to see that is becoming a semi-regular thing with wargaming. So cool, good deal there. So guys, let me know what you guys think about the whole shebang the 2 devlogs have gone through with the changes to the Shinano, basically making her a flying Yami, and the new Dockyard we're getting here, along with the return of asymmetric battles and all of that. Now I'm going to go edit this video and the first video together and get it uploaded for you guys in time. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful Thursday, wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.